And if the chosen one was you all along? Have you ever felt like something in this world doesn't make sense, but somehow you were born to see what others ignore? What if I told you that everything you've been through, the loneliness, the unanswered prayers, the strange signs, the late-night thoughts that never leave, were not accidents, but messages, divine codes, hidden instructions, clues from the unseen? You're not just watching another video. This is a moment of alignment, a spiritual convergence. And if you've been led here, it's because you are not random. Something inside of you, maybe a whisper, maybe a scream, has always known there's more. More to this life, more to your story, more to you. This is not entertainment. This is revelation. This is for the ones who feel forgotten by the world but remembered by God. This is for those who have always asked, why do I feel so different? Why can't I just fit in? Why do I see signs no one else talks about? Let me ask you something. Have you been waking up at 3:33 a.m.? Do you keep seeing the number 1111? Do people tell you you're too intense, too emotional, too spiritual? Do you feel drained after being around crowds, like your energy doesn't belong there? Have you been through more pain than you can explain, and yet somehow you're still here? If you said yes to any of these, that's not coincidence, it's confirmation. Because what you are experiencing is awakening, and awakening is messy, painful, chaotic, but also sacred. It shakes your entire identity. It burns the version of you that was built to survive, so the one who was born to lead can finally rise. This isn't for everyone, but if you're still here, you're already part of the few. There's a reason God hid you in plain sight. There's a reason you felt invisible, rejected, tested, because the chosen ones are always prepared in silence, before they're revealed in power. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to break generational patterns, to disrupt the system, to carry a light that makes demons tremble. And that's why the attacks were so specific. That's why the betrayals cut so deep. That's why you couldn't settle for a normal life, because your calling is not normal. And now, something in the spirit world is shifting. Can you feel it? Because this is the moment when the veil lifts. This is where you stop questioning your worth and start remembering your purpose. This is where the pain starts making sense. And it all begins with one realization. You were chosen, not by man, not by chance, but by God. Now breathe, because what you're about to hear might unlock everything. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. This isn't just a video, it's a spiritual map. Drop a comment below right now with one word that describes how you feel after hearing this first message. Let's light up this section with truth. Let's connect, chosen one, because you're not alone. And now that you're here, let's go deeper. And if the chosen one missed the first sign, remember that night? The one you don't talk about. When everything was quiet, but your soul was loud. That strange heaviness in your chest. The vivid dream you couldn't explain. The sudden chill in the room. The number 1111 flashing again and again. You brushed it off. You told yourself it was nothing. But deep down, something inside of you whispered, this means something. And that whisper? It was the voice of destiny. You started noticing too many coincidences, but they were never coincidences. They were spiritual signs, awakening symptoms, divine nudges from the invisible world. You weren't crazy. You were waking up. The universe, or perhaps God himself, began placing messages in front of you. Soft, quiet, but persistent. A song that played at the perfect time. A stranger who said exactly what you needed to hear. A dream that felt more real than life itself. A door that closed, but somehow didn't hurt, because a deeper part of you knew it had to. These are the awakening signs only the chosen ones recognize. Because while others keep chasing what's visible, you are being trained to feel what can't be seen, to hear the whisper beneath the noise, to follow a path that doesn't exist on any map. And that's why the discomfort started. That's why people began to feel off. That's why you suddenly felt like you didn't belong in rooms you used to fit in. Because something greater was calling you. A spiritual awakening that doesn't knock. It breaks down the door. You began to see patterns in numbers, in conversations, in nature. You felt more tired around people, more sensitive to energy. Your dreams turned vivid, your emotions deeper. You weren't becoming weaker, you were becoming tuned. The veil between the seen and unseen was starting to lift, and only the chosen ones notice when that happens. But let me ask you something, and be honest. What was the sign you ignored? Was it that one dream you still remember in detail, even years later? Was it that strange encounter with someone who said your exact thoughts out loud? Was it that deep, unshakable feeling that something is coming? Whatever it wasn't random. And you know that now. Drop it in the comments. Tell me. Write it. Because when you speak it, you claim it. That's how your awakening deepens. That's how you send a message to the spiritual realm. I'm ready now. You see, chosen ones don't always recognize the call immediately. Sometimes the message is veiled in pain, other times in silence. But when the call comes, whether in the form of numbers, dreams, emotions, or spiritual isolation, it always leaves a mark. And the fact that you're here, right now, hearing this, is proof that you've already started walking the path. You were chosen before you were born. You were marked by something divine. And even when you tried to live a normal life, your soul kept rebelling. Because a chosen one can pretend to be ordinary for a while, but never forever. And that forever ends now. And if the chosen one was judged for what made them divine, you felt it. That moment when you walked into the room and the energy shifted. No one had to say anything. The looks were enough. The silence spoke louder than words. The questions hung in the air like smoke. Who does she think she is? Why does he always have to be different? How dare they speak like that, believe like that, walk like that? And even though they never said it out loud, their eyes screamed it. Judgment. You've been in that circle before, haven't you? Like a spotlight found you, but not to celebrate you, to expose you. Like you were standing on trial for a crime you didn't commit, a life you didn't ask for, a calling you didn't choose. But the truth is, you were chosen, and that alone is enough to make people uncomfortable. There's something about you that the world cannot categorize. You don't follow the script. You don't fit the mold. Your energy, your insight, your sensitivity, it threatens the status quo. Because chosen ones don't blend in. They break patterns. And breaking patterns makes people nervous. You've been misunderstood, laughed at, doubted, maybe even abandoned. People who once celebrated you now look at you with suspicion. You feel it when you speak, and they shift uncomfortably. You feel it when you share your dreams, and they change the subject. You feel it when your light walks into dark places, and the shadows start to tremble. But what if I told you that the judgment wasn't punishment? It was preparation. That rejection wasn't failure. It was refinement. Because while the world pointed fingers, God was pointing direction. While they whispered behind your back, heaven was speaking over your life. While you questioned your worth, the divine was carving your purpose. This is what spiritual transformation looks like. It's raw, it's painful, it's lonely, but it's holy. They don't understand you because they were never supposed to. You weren't sent to be understood. You were sent to awaken. And those who awaken will always be judged by the ones still asleep. Think of it like this. The crowd doesn't attack the weak. They attack the radiant. The crowd doesn't mock the lost. They mock the one who walks with vision. And if they judged you harshly, it's because your energy revealed something they weren't ready to face in themselves. And so, you stood there, in the center, not because you wanted to, but because your divine purpose demanded it. That moment of social conflict, of isolation, of pressure, it wasn't a breakdown, it was a setup, a sacred sculpting of the soul, because chosen ones are never built in comfort, they are forged in fire. So, if you've ever felt that gaze, if you've ever heard the whispers, if you've ever felt like the outsider at the table where you were meant to lead, I want you to pause and write one sentence in the comments. I understand. Because that's how we recognize each other. Through the pain, through the process, through the pressure. That's how we know we're not broken. We're being built. And as they judge you, as they misunderstand you, as they whisper and walk away, something deeper is happening. A shift. A quiet transformation that can't be seen. Yet. But soon. Very soon. But soon. Very soon. Something inside of you started to flicker. Not fully. Not all at once. Just a spark. A single flame in a room still half dark. It didn't make sense at first. You didn't know if you were losing your mind or gaining your purpose. But suddenly, you could see. Not clearly, just enough to know that there's more. More to this life. More to your story. More to the pain you've endured. It's like one eye opened, and the other refused to wake. And now you're here, standing between two dimensions. The old world behind you, the divine calling ahead. One foot in the known, the other in the supernatural. You're not who you were, but you're not fully who you're becoming. And that space between awakening and transcendence, is where the warfare begins. This is the moment most people run. The place where confusion whispers louder than clarity. Where doubt pretends to be truth. Where your old life tries to pull you back with everything it has. Comfort, safety, familiarity. But the truth is, that old version of you was only ever survival. And now, something eternal is calling you into identity. When the divine awakening begins, it doesn't come gently. It cracks you open. It breaks illusions. It burns away masks. The fire is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to reveal the real you. And in that process, there's pain. Yes, real pain. The kind that can't be explained with words. The kind that lives in your chest, in your silence, in your questions. But that pain is sacred. You start seeing people differently. You can no longer unsee what you've seen. Your spirit becomes sensitive to lies. Your intuition sharpens. You feel everything. And that can be overwhelming. Because the more you see, the more responsible you feel for choosing truth over comfort. This is spiritual warfare. Not demons in the shadows, but battles inside your own soul. The fight between who you were and who you're meant to become. And that's not easy. It's never been easy for the chosen ones. Because the ones God chooses, He refines. So here you are, half lit, half hidden. And the tension is heavy. You can feel the light in you. You can feel the presence, the pull, the whisper. But some days, it still feels like you're blind, like you're not ready, like you're not enough. But listen to me, and listen closely. You were never meant to finish this journey with both eyes closed. The fact that even one eye opened is a miracle, a divine signal, a code from heaven saying, keep going. This stage, this division, is proof that your transformation is real. It's messy, it's holy, it's raw, and it's personal. The transcendence you're stepping into can only happen if you're willing to walk through the middle space. The tension, the duality, the vulnerability. You're not broken. You're becoming. You're not late. You're awakening. So let me ask you now, have you felt this split inside you? The pull between your past and your purpose? The days when one side of you is full of faith and the other side is drowning in fear? If you have, type "ready for more" in the comments right now. Because saying it out loud is a spiritual agreement. It tells the universe. It tells heaven. It tells your future self, I'm not backing down. I'm moving forward. Because soon, and now, you've made it here. After everything. After the signs. After the silence. After the judgment. After the inner war between light and shadow. Faith and fear. Truth and comfort. You are still standing. Not by accident. Not because you stumbled here. But because something greater found you. You felt it. The shift. The internal shaking. The pulse of something divine moving through your story like a thread you couldn't quite grasp. Until now. And here you are. On the edge. Not of something ending, but of something beginning. The door is open. Can you feel it? Because once the light touches you, once the awakening begins, once your spirit remembers who you are, you can never go back. You can't unknow. You can't unfeel. You can't shrink again to fit into places you were never meant to stay. This is what it means to be chosen. The world may never understand you. They may call you intense, dramatic, irrational, even delusional. But you'll know, deep down, that this voice, this message, this calling, is not a fantasy. It's God whispering into your reality, pulling you out of everything you thought you were, and into everything you were born to become. It will still hurt sometimes. The calling doesn't silence the conflict, but it gives the conflict a reason. You're not broken. You're becoming prophetic. Your pain was not in vain. It was permission. Your story is not over. It's sacred. And your path? It was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be eternal. Because when God sets you apart, He walks with you. Through the fire. Through the questions. Through the nights you can't explain why you're crying. Through the mornings where something inside you still says, keep going. That voice, that's Him. That's destiny. That's purpose whispering your name. So, what do you do now? You rise. You don't ask for permission to shine anymore. You don't shrink to make others comfortable. You don't hide your light just to be accepted. You take your place. You walk through the open door. You step fully into your divine purpose. You were never meant to wait on the world to wake up. You were meant to lead it. And this is only the beginning. Right now, you have a choice. You can scroll away, pretend this didn't shake something inside of you. Or you can say yes, fully, deeply, finally. You can align with the frequency that brought you here and walk the path with those who are also awakening. So if something inside of you knows, if your heart is beating a little faster, if your spirit is buzzing right now, then this is your moment to respond. Let me ask you this, and don't overthink it. Are you ready? If your answer is yes, write it below, not just for me, not even for the algorithm, but as a spiritual signal, a moment of agreement, a declaration. Just comment, I'm ready. Or if that feels too big, start small. Just type, yes. If this message reached you, it's because you were meant to remember who you are. You're not just another face in the crowd. You are a chosen one, and your journey has divine fingerprints all over it. So now I ask, will you keep walking? Will you keep waking up? Will you help others do the same? If this stirred something inside you, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. And share this video with someone who's been struggling in silence, someone who's felt like no one understands them, someone who's been seeing signs and needs confirmation that they're not alone, because they're not. You're not. We're not. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next. In the next video, we're going to expose what was hidden from you since the beginning, the knowledge they buried, the truth they tried to erase. The message is called the spiritual code they tried to erase from your mind. You will not want to miss this. The journey continues, and you are the reason it exists. You are not watching this by chance. You were called, you were chosen, and now, the door is open. And now, listen closely, because this part matters. If something stirred in your soul, if you felt this message wasn't just words, but a calling, then do this now. Click like to seal your yes. Comment below, I'm ready. Subscribe to walk this path with us. And share this video with someone who's already awakening, or someone who desperately needs to. Turn on the bell, because soon we're going to uncover what was hidden from you all along, the spiritual code they tried to erase from your mind. Don't let the algorithm decide what you see next. Click on the next video in the playlist right now. Let your own spirit guide you deeper. Let YouTube become your spiritual map, because your awakening was never meant to be just for you. It's for everyone waiting for your light. We're not done. We've only just begun. Let's go.